This is the OUPES Mega 2 portable power station, and I have to say, it's a pretty impressive piece of gear sitting right here in front of me. When I first got my hands on it, I was honestly a bit overwhelmed by its size and weight. It's definitely not your average little portable battery pack. It's big, sturdy, and gives you the sense that you're dealing with something that can actually handle a serious power outage or a weekend off-grid. Talking about its shape and feel, the OUPES Mega 2 has this clean, professional look that feels way more serious equipment than most budget power stations I've tried before. The main body is a solid black case that just feels robust. On the top, there are chunky handles that make moving it around much easier. Not that it's light. It weighs close to 50 pounds. But once you grab those handles, you actually feel like it's manageable. There's no built-in light on this unit, which surprised me a bit given how much else it tries to pack in. But the layout is really straightforward. The display is bright, even in daylight, and the buttons are simple. All input and output ports are clearly marked. The screen instantly shows how much battery you have left, how many watts you're using, and how long you've got until it runs out or finishes charging, which is super useful if you're new to power stations. Sometimes you just want to know, how long can I run my fridge without needing a calculator? From my experience, this unit is perfect for home backup, RV trips, and anyone who likes to head out camping without worrying about bringing power along. I initially used it just to keep phones, laptops, and a small cooler running, but decided to push it a little further. Plugged in a blender, a sander, even my miter saw to see what would happen. It actually started up a miter saw, which I really didn't expect. It spiked to almost 2,000 watts for a second while the saw started, and then settled down. So I can say confidently that it's not just for little gadgets. That big 2,500 watt AC output with a surge up to 5,400 watts really means it can run a lot of high-powered tools, or even help out with your fridge or microwave if the power goes out in the house. Key features I keep coming back to are its battery capacity and charging speed. OUPES rates this for a 2048 Wh base, which is like the fuel tank telling you how much runtime you're working with. In real use, I found I could run basic appliances and charge gear for several days while camping without even dipping below 50%. But the most surprising thing for me was how quickly it recharges. Plugging into wall AC, I could go from almost empty to full in about 1.5 hours, which is honestly faster than most power stations I've tried. There's also the option to hook up big solar panels and get up to 2,100 W solar input, which sets you up for real off-grid use. I haven't set up a huge solar array myself yet, but I used a couple of portable panels and it worked smoothly. What's even cooler is the option to expand the capacity by connecting up to 4 additional battery packs, bringing you up to over 10 kWh. So, if you've got bigger needs, you aren't boxed in, though the extra batteries are pricey. Another key feature worth mentioning is the variety of ports. It's got pretty much everything, from simple USB-A and USB-C for your phones to AC outlets you'd find in your house, plus a big Anderson 12V30A port that's popular for direct RV battery charging. Everything is labeled, and you just hit a button to activate DC or AC outputs. The screen shows which ports are in use and how many watts they're drawing, which helps avoid any confusion, especially for folks like me who remember frying their old power stations by overloading them. For those who like to keep an eye on details, there's also an app to connect over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth and check power status from your phone. I tried it with mixed results. More on that in a second. Now, for what I really like about using the OUPES Mega 2. The best part for me is the peace of mind. The combination of high capacity, fast charging, and expandability means you don't worry about running out of power if you plan ahead. This is something I really care about for camping or when storms hit and the grid goes down. It's perfect for anyone who wants a power backup solution that just works, even for heavy-duty tools or RV air conditioners. At least for a while, the cooling fans are fairly quiet, only kicking in when charging hard or pulling big loads, and they don't make it annoying to be around. I also think the design is sleek and looks good, making it fine to keep in the living room or garage without being an eyesore. There are a few things that I found less impressive. The first thing is the weight. It weighs almost 48 pounds. Even though it has nice handles, it can get tiring lugging it in and out of a car or RV. It's not something I'd want to move every day. For new users, just know that they call it portable, but it's really more luggable than carry in one hand up a mountain. Another thing that caught my attention is the app. OUPES advertises a smart control app, but when I tested it on both iOS and Android, I had issues with pairing and connecting reliably. At this point, it feels more like a gimmick than a must-have feature. I honestly just stuck to reading the numbers right off the screen and pressing the buttons directly on the device. One minor annoyance is that there's a delay when powering up the AC outlets after pressing the button. It sometimes takes 10 to 15 seconds before the power actually flows, and there's a little relay click that you can hear. It's nothing major, but if you're in a hurry or troubleshooting, it throws you off. Also, unlike some newer portable power stations, this one doesn't show you the estimated time left until it's fully charged. It only gives the battery percentage and discharge estimates, which is fine but could be improved. Lastly, I noticed very light idle power consumption. When it sits on standby for a long time, it seems to use a little power just by being on, which is different from some power stations that go almost completely asleep when not in use. Not a deal breaker, but something to know if you leave it plugged in for days at home or in storage. In conclusion, from my experience, the OUPES Mega 2 Portable Power Station 2500W really surprised me in a good way. It's got the battery power and AC output to run big tools, appliances, and RV systems. The charging is very fast through both wall and solar, and you have the flexibility to expand it for bigger jobs down the road. The mix of classic and newer features makes it useful for both beginners and more advanced users. While the app needs work, and it's definitely heavy for a portable, those are things I can live with considering the price for this much capacity is lower than a lot of better-known brands. I'd recommend this for anyone who camps, RVs, needs backup during storm season, or just wants to be ready for an outage at home. It might not be perfect if you move it every single day or need app controls to be reliable out of the box, but it delivers on the basics really well. If you can live with a little extra weight and want real power for your adventures or emergencies, this is a solid option. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the OUPES Mega 2 Portable Power Station.